Welcome to 3 T's in a Pod, where real talk meets real healing.
And we inspire positive change. We are 3 women with 3 different stories and one mission: to reach every heart that we meet.
And here we're going to share our stories, how they've transformed our lives, and also our truths. So we welcome you to be a part of this conversation.
And remember, there's no one left out. This is a safe place for all walks of life. You are welcomed here.
We see you, we hear you, and we believe that your story matters.
So ladies, it's that time again. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, your beverage of choice. Come and sit with us and have this conversation with us.
I'm Tina.
I'm Tanita.
And I'm Tawanda.
And we are 3 T's in a Pod.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of 3 T's in a Pod. And today, maybe a little bit heavy for some of us, but this is why I think we need to have this conversation. Is because a lot of times we don't express how we feel, and we haven't talked enough about our grief journey. I think our journey, mine individually, I know my journey has blessed other people. And so we're going to be talking about our pain, from pain to purpose, and talking about our grief and our grief journey and what that has looked like. And so I guess I'll kick it off. For me, we've all experienced death, but I think there's always 1 or 2 people very close to you that makes death a little bit different. You know, I've sang at 1,000 weddings and funerals and things of that nature, but it hits home when it's that person that you, for me it was my dad, who was my superhero,
yes,
my hero in a cape. And so for me, I learned a lot during our journey, and here are some of the reasons why. My father had begun to show some signs of dementia, and he was still very independent. And so I'm thinking that I'm just watching the dementia, and then he had a massive stroke. So with that massive stroke, of course, he was no longer able to walk. He became totally independent. And although he could talk, at times he couldn't remember everything that he wanted to remember. And all of us are in healthcare. We kind of know how that goes. Yeah. But for me, my grief journey began the day he had the stroke. If that makes sense to you all.
That actually makes sense.
So what I've learned in my journey is that anticipatory grief is real.
It is.
So I remember, and I'll get back to the story, but during the time that he actually passed, I heard my family were like, go check on her, make sure she's okay. And a guy that I was dating at the time, he said, if something happens to your dad, I'm going to have to come scrape you off the floor. And at the time, I thought, yeah. But when it actually happened, I was okay. I was fine. I had no more tears. The reason why I had no more tears is because I shed those tears for the 5 years that I took care of him. So when my father had the massive stroke, he later had a fall with a brain injury, a traumatic brain injury. So we were dealing with dementia, we were dealing with the stroke, and then now a traumatic brain injury. So for 5 years, I brought him home to live with me, and every year he had another stroke. So every time I got into the ambulance,
I didn't know that.
Yes, every year he had another stroke, almost clockwise, like to the date. But every time I had to get into that ambulance, I lost a piece of him. Every time I brought him back home, I lost a piece of him. Every time he had another stroke, I lost a piece of him. So that anticipatory grief for me was knowing and understanding that he's going to leave here one day. But I grieved while I was taking care of him. And I think that's the difference. Is when you're in denial, you're not allowing yourself to grieve.
Right.
I had the opportunity to grieve because I knew what was coming. For a lot of people, they don't have that.
Right.
Grief is
They're
instant.
sudden.
It's a sudden loss, so they don't have that. But for me, I like to share my journey, especially as I continue to advocate for seniors with dementia and their families, because we know that's a process. So I share with them that it's okay that you're what you're experiencing right now, you're missing who she used to be. You're grieving the mom that raised you, who we're talking about right now and taking care of right now. That's not the mom that you know. So for me, the journey created a lot of purpose, because I took what God gave me as a blueprint for caring for my dad, and then he took that and he just excelled me into creating a business and services to serve others. My dad was the blueprint.
I love that.
My pain,
That's good.
he took that pain, and I didn't see it. I didn't know it. You know, I was already a nurse, but he took that experience and allowed me to create services and programs for people who now have come behind me with some of the same issues. But now I'm able to not just say, oh, you're going to be okay, but to actually show them the blueprint and show them this is how we got through. This is how you're going to get through. And that healing is a process and it's a journey. So for me, it was definitely pain to purpose. He allowed me to grieve, but he allowed me to grieve while my dad was here. And afterwards, he gave me that time. But then he said, okay, get up. Here you go. I got something for you.
Got some work.
Wow.
So it was definitely from pain to purpose. So I can go back now and say I'm very appreciative of the time that I had with my father, but I'm also appreciative that God allowed me to do that grieving while I had him.
Yes.
And then afterwards. And then the other thing about grief that I'm sure you ladies can tap into is that grief doesn't have a clock.
It doesn't.
And so while people they were expecting me to break down like immediately after during the funeral. So the crazy thing about, I mean, it's not crazy, but the strength that God allows us to have on this grief journey. I knew my dad was passing, and I knew it was coming. So I put him on hospice. When I put him on hospice, I had already written the obituary. I had already called the musicians that I wanted. I already laid out the songs.
Oh, wow.
It was all planned out.
Because I knew it was coming. And so it was like, why wait? Because when it happens, you have so much to do. I planned everything. I called the funeral home that I wanted to service. And they were like, oh, you should, well, call us. I said, no, I know it's coming. And this is what I want.
That's true strength.
Wow.
But God
I love that. I love it. Yes.
And so I called and I set everything up. I wrote the obituary. And the day of the funeral, my pastor, who was going to do the eulogy, but I had already written out what I wanted to say. And so just before the eulogy, I utilized him myself. And so when my pastor got up, he was like, there's not much more to say.
Right.
But the strength in that was being able to not only give my little speech about my dad, but then have the strength to sing. And I was like, wow, you crazy.
But who better, though, to do it than you?
And that was because I didn't want people getting up with false stories.
Girl.
Yes. And y'all know how I feel about lying.
Okay.
So I didn't want nobody up here lying about what you did.
Yes.
Who you did. I didn't want any of that. I wanted a true homegoing celebration of life, and that's what we were able to give him. So for me, that was my pain definitely turned into purpose, and God took that as a catalyst, and he's just been blessing me ever since because of my obedience to my father.
That's right.
Because of him. That's why I think the blessings have been coming in like they have.
I think for me, so yours, like you said, didn't happen suddenly. With my father, it happened suddenly. Maybe, and I'll be honest with you, it's still hard for me. So my days of remembering exact dates, I don't. I won't. It just, my brain won't allow. But I know, like it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a day before he passed, rather. He came into my office and we were joking, and he always say now, well, it's a saying I started, don't get nothing on you. And so he turned around, and that was his last thing to me was, don't get nothing on you. That next day he was preparing for his church anniversary. My father was a pastor, and he was so excited, and that's what he lived for. A very great, honorable man. Anybody know my dad, just know he was a great, loving, honest man with full of integrity. He preached integrity. And the next day I was on my way to the office and just got a call. Your dad is in the hospital. They're thinking it's a heart attack. We don't know. Get there fast. We get to the hospital, maybe 15 minutes in, we're like, they said the vitals were good and all of that. I said, well, let me make some calls to family members, tell them, everything they got, don't worry, it's under control. And maybe 5 minutes after that, he was gone.
Wow.
And so with that being so instant, took me out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't have no parts of the obituary or nothing. I could not even function.
You couldn't do it.
I could not even function. My dad, we were all three, it's 3 girls. We were dad's girls. We loved our mom, but we were daddy girls. Yeah. And that was such a big chunk of me. But to add that to my purpose now from that pain, my dad instilled a lot. I remember being in school and they're saying, name your hero. A lot of people said Dr. Martin Luther King and all those things. I would always stand 10 toes down and say Larry Davis.
Okay.
And they would look at me like, what?
Who is
my
that?
daddy.
Right. Okay.
That's my dad. That's and so he was always so business oriented. My dad was so organized, and I took all of that, and what ringed in my head too, he would always say, whatever you do, you make sure you do it 110. You give it 110%. So I took that pain and I took what the situations and what life was bringing me, because it was a double whammy. I took that and I just began to really focus on me. But in the midst of that, I lost my husband, who was also a pastor.
Wow.
And we keep it very real, but I am private, but we were going through some things in our marriage. So we wasn't in a good place. And then I found out he had brain cancer. And I'm like, what? So these are the only 2 men that's been in my life, that's been a big piece of my life. And he had a very fast growing tumor. So I went from being having a fatherless, to being a widow, all within maybe a 2-year time difference span. And so even with that, it's like, God, and some people say, well, you may have done some things and caused this, and I can't cause none of that. No. But I had to heal. I was in a very dark place. I kind of stayed hidden. But even in my hidden and privacy, God never left me. He never left me. And I was able to push through. I was able to push through the talk, the any negative things, or why this happened to her, why she doing this. When I say God, I surrendered to God, and He had me in that thing. He did, to the point where people was like, she putting out another business, she doing this, but I thought she didn't have this, so she was going through that.
Right.
And I just really pushed all that pain truly into my purpose and my calling. That's why I'm here today, even being able to talk and sit and share with you guys and you, because I know it's bigger than me.
Right.
It's bigger than me.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying, because
I know, girl.
We knew this was going to be a hard episode, but again, it's a conversation that we have to have, these conversations, because when you keep that inside, you're blocking the blessing.
Yes.
And so somebody there needs to hear all of these stories.
Yes.
And I'm proud of all of us for being able to just come and share. And that's the other thing, you know, we feel like we so strong. We can't cry, we can't show emotions. But how do you, this is a part of life. This is who we are. So it's good to get those tears out. I always say it.
And I miss him dearly. My father,
of
you know, I
course.
miss him. And I miss my husband for my daughter too. You know, I do.
And for us, Tina, it was our fathers. They were our superheroes.
Oh man,
like the legacy. I mean, we big daddy's girls, and just it's something when you have that man in your life that you can look to for guidance, for love. No man can ever love you like your father.
Oh,
no
you better
man
say
can
that.
ever love you like your father, and that's another. I think that's episode 8. We'll tap into that in episode 8.
9,
But 9.
Okay, another season.
Yes. But I think that that's why we're so emotional. We do miss them earthly, but we carry so much of them. Like I look at you and how you are in business, and I didn't know that that's where you got it from. But now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
That all makes sense.
So for me, you know, I spoke about being in the military, serving 20 years, and anybody, if you are ever working for an organization, especially a demanding one like that, you're looking forward to retirement. I couldn't get them an extra day if they gave me $1 million. Like I was checked out, and I really didn't have too many plans because we were already doing the real estate thing. And so I really kept thinking like, okay, I've been on this fast moving train for 20 years. I'm going to chill for a minute. I'm going to take a pause. And so officially I retired February the 1st, 2021. Taking my pause probably after about a month, because a couple of times I woke up early in the morning thinking I need to put on this uniform. Like I was really discombobulated. And I even thought about a job at one point. And my husband was like, and you crazy, because I'm gonna lay right here and you go right ahead. And then life happened. So April 21st, 2021, I lost my granddaughter. She wasn't 2 yet, but she was like a daughter. Me having 3 sons, you know, when you get those girls, I already had Nasiah, so this was her sister. And so I would always get them. She was just really learning how to talk and just, you know, all of the things, just the cutest, and they were total opposites of each other. Like Nasiah was like the loud one, the one that, you know, they just turned the house up, and she was more like, you give her that one toy and she gonna play with that toy. And so receiving that phone call and, you know, getting to the hospital and learning, it was like, for me, it's indescribable. However, it was like, have you ever like got punched really hard where like the wind gets knocked out of you? It was like the wind literally was knocked out of me. It's something about grief, but it's something about kids. It hits different.
Absolutely.
Right, because we supposed to go before.
Yes, it hits different. And a baby, like she wasn't even 2, so I'm like, Lord, what part of the game is this? You know, and due to different circumstances, Nasiah came to live with us briefly. I know there was purpose, because I kept thinking about like, if I was still serving, I'd be on the other side of the country. I had just gotten back from Korea. So thinking about like the timing, like God already knew, you know, what was going to happen, what the plans were. And so to be able to be there for her, even like if you go back to some of my videos, taking her to school in the mornings, like I literally was like back in the car line. Yes, the car line. Like this little girl, you got me cold this morning. Where is my, you know, just you know, just all of those things, and not really knowing how she was going to grieve. So in those moments, it was just a lot of prayer and also therapy. I learned about an organization called Annie's Hope, which is amazing for grieving children, because a lot of times as adults, we don't think about the kids, because kids grieve different. And 1 minute they're playing, you think they're okay, and Nasiah was really grieving her sister. A lot of waking up in the middle of the night, nightmares, just, you know. her book was birthed out of that as well. But
Oh yes, such a cute.
the little girl who never lost her smile, the story of overcoming grief. And so between therapy and being like in mom mode with her, in less than 4 months my son died. Now that was just like a double whammy, because less than 4 months, Lord, who do you grieve for? Like, it was many a days where I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be grieving for Nakira or Nick.
Right.
And it was just like all at once, you know. And my son didn't die. It was a thing where he ended up and I can say my son had a drug overdose. He was at work and he was grieving his daughter, and I did not know that my son was in a deep depression, because I wasn't concerned about my son or Nasiah's mom at the time. I was concerned about myself, getting up every day, and this baby.
Right.
And so when we got the call that he was rushed to the hospital and that he was on life support, I immediately just started praying. And I also called the lady at Annie's Hope, and she was like, we got you, because at the time COVID was going on, so you still could not even have children in the hospital, and he was in the ICU. So they were able to facilitate having Nasiah to be able to see her dad again, the anticipatory grief. She was able to come in the room. They did a canvas with his hand prints. They also had a Build-A-Bear where they had him to hold it, and it was of his heart.
Right.
And they put it in a bear for Nasiah to have as, you know, a keepsake. Those little things, along with, like I say, it was God plus therapy that got us through. But the book that came out of it, she did speaking events.
Yes.
I had a speaking event for Annie's Hope to share our story. So much purpose, because I didn't feel like I really had the strength, but God carried me and gave me the strength to share the story, to be able to help others. Because even me being in those support groups at Annie's Hope, there was so many other grieving grandparents or parents. There was a set of grandparents that the kids had lost their mom and dad in a car accident. And this elderly set of grandparents were left to raise 3 children. So how dare I, is kind of like how I feel like, how dare I, like, Lord, you know, you doing it for them, you're going to do it for me and anybody else that comes behind. But as Tawanda, as you said, like, grief is a constant journey every day. I was at a concert one day, and there was a young man. He ended up, he wasn't there at first, but he ended up on the right side of me, and he brushed up against me, and I turned, and he looked exactly like my son. I had to go get myself together. Like, literally, like, it was just like I saw a ghost. And then let me just add this piece. The mother of Nasiah was pregnant at the time of my son's death. And full transparency, I was like, please, Lord, do not let that be my son's baby. Please. Like, I just did not want to even think. Like, I'm still grieving Nakira, and I was thinking, like, so how was y'all grieving? Because we over here, our house is turned upside down, and we raising a little girl, and y'all over here having sex. That's how I was feeling. Like, y'all over here having sex, apparently, because this girl pregnant. So I didn't want no part. So when it was like baby shower time, what they do now, the
gender reveal,
baby, don't invite me. I won't be there, and wasn't there. And sure enough, she had a little boy who has the exact face,
it looks just like
of my son. And I was just like, Lord, here we go.
What he was doing again, right?
Yes.
Wow.
God don't need our help, y'all.
Wow.
So, yeah,
we made it through.
We made it through.
This was a very good topic, I think, and it's a great point, a great time for us to stop and share with you all to let you know that therapy is okay.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I was built for it tough, right? And it's not that I never believed in therapy. However, I didn't experience therapy until the last year and a half.
Oh, I have. After when my dad passed and then my husband passed, I definitely needed to have.
I'm sure I needed it, but I think I and that's the other thing. I think some people don't believe in therapy, or they don't know.
Oh, yeah.
What therapy? Who do I choose? Do I choose a male? Do I choose a female? How do I know who to go to? I think you have to make sure that you're ready when you're ready. Not when somebody else says, I think you need to go to therapy. You may know that, but until you're ready, until you can say, I need to go or I want to go, I think that's when you agree and find the right therapist for you.
And beyond the typical of like researching them and their education and things like that, really just go. Book the appointment.
And go.
See if it vibes with you. If
And
it
if you don't,
you
pick another one.
You can always
pick
change.
another one.
Right.
Pick another one.
Therapy is good. We need it. This world is so heavy.
It is.
We need that. So.
My first 3 sessions, the lady literally handed me the Kleenex box. Like, we didn't even talk.
And
I literally cried
that was
for the first 3 sessions before
therapy.
ever talking.
And that was therapy.
It was.
That was a part of your therapy.
It was.
So definitely, I think it's important that we have these challenging conversations. We encourage you to seek therapy, especially for grief, and to know that it's okay to grieve and grieve how you want to grieve, not how someone expects you to grieve. And grief doesn't have a clock.
It doesn't.
I still, my mom passed 26 years ago, and I still, Mother's Day and birthdays, like why am I so expressive? Why am I so, and then I remember that, hey, it's birthday time. It's, it's Mother's Day. So just wanted to have this conversation. I think this was good. This was good for everybody. This was good for everybody.
Sure.
So if you're grieving, please seek help.
Yes.
Know that it's okay to grieve where you are. Get that support system around you and let people know what you need. So from 3 T's in a Pod, we all love you. Grief is real, but God is even more real.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right, now it's time. It's what we call our tea time, and it's not even TEA. It's just T for Tina, Tawanda, and Tanita.
Right. Yes, let's lighten the mood.
This time, we need to brighten this mood up. But I don't know if it's gonna be brighten or not, but we're gonna be talking about grief and loss etiquette.
Yes,
like what are the do's and don'ts? Because I don't really think people think about that. I know. When Tanita was sharing some things, I was like, "Ooh, I do that. Oh, I'm so sorry."
So this is needed.
So this is definitely needed. And with that being said, we're gonna start with Tanita.
So for me, because mine was it the most recent for you of the group? 2021 for me.
For me.
My husband passed 2022.
Okay. So I'll just say this. For me, going through the grief and just, experiencing support from different angles, I will say that one thing that I wish people would not do is do not ask someone when it's fresh, especially, how are you doing? The reason being for me, and I know that sounds bad because a lot of times you don't know what else to say besides how are you doing, right? But you don't know if that day has already been heavy and if they've been crying. And sometimes something as simple as how are you doing could cause you to break back down, and it could be a trigger. So I always told my friends and family around me, play it off of me. Do not ask me how I'm doing. I'm not doing okay. Just know that. That's the answer from here to whenever. I'm not okay. So if I'm in a light mood, whatever I'm talking about, just act as normal as possible. If I want to bring it up or talk about it, then let's talk about it, because maybe I'm in a good space that I can. Also, if they're not openly sharing what happened, is it gonna bring them back? Is it gonna hit? Like, what is that going to do for you? I literally, this is true. I didn't share this with y'all. Somebody literally, I guess because I'm open on social media, kept waiting for me to put what happened. And they literally asked someone else who's a hairstylist, I just been following her page and waiting for her to tell what happened. I don't know what happened. And you not gonna know. And you blocked forever. And you better never say nothing to me again. Like that. Yeah, it's like, what is that gonna do for you? What is that gonna do for you? Like, really, I know that curiosity gets the best of all of us. I've wondered what happened to certain people, but I dare not ask. If you don't share that,
it's just a respect thing.
Yeah, if you don't share that, I'm not asking.
And if it's not shared, there's a reason why.
Yes.
So you just
Gone on.
Yeah,
You gonna
You send your condolences,
and there you
move it
go.
on.
Move along, because it's not. What is it gonna do for you?
To me,
knowing?
that's just somebody being nosy.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. So for me, I think the two biggest ones is for when people say, call me if you need anything.
I'm not calling you.
Because you know I need something.
You know it.
But if I'm grieving, I don't even know what I need. Most times we have to remind, did you eat?
That's
Have
right.
you eaten today? Because most times we haven't, right? Have you drank anything today? Did you shower today? Like, you know I have a need, right? So don't say to me, call me if you need anything. Because in this moment, I shouldn't be reaching out to you.
That's
You
right.
should be reaching out to
That
me.
is right. So true.
That's so
And
true.
And I'm trying to think, have I said that too?
I think we all have, and that's why etiquette. This is why this is important.
It's so
But you
important.
know what? I think I did say it until it was my turn.
Now, I didn't say call me. I just said if you need anything, let me know. But I'm gonna tell you with that too when it comes to my conversation how I feel about that, because
Yeah.
I had to check myself on that too.
But I think we've been here. But I think when you're sitting on that side of the casket and it's your turn, it's different. Everything that people say sticks out to you.
It
now.
does.
I found myself like, what you mean call you?
I'm not calling you.
I'm not calling you. And you
Right.
know what I need.
Right.
And the other thing, this one.
Bring some chicken, some water.
But
Girl.
I'm glad you said that.
I like mac and cheese.
But
Don't just make it.
Speaking of food, if you are here to comfort me in my time of grief, please don't pack up no food and take.
Oh,
it with you.
please don't do
Please
that.
don't do that.
Like it's a family reunion. You know we gotta eat for a couple
For
of days.
days.
You packing up food, and I don't care if you brought food.
Well, the
You
etiquette,
bring it
etiquette.
That's the whole point.
Yes.
The etiquette is you're bringing it for the family. You're
Yes.
bringing it for whoever's
should come
grieving.
over,
So
yeah.
to
Why
see
are you taking
pack-
these to-go
pack up
plates?
Food and sodas. That just dry. That's why I don't like grieving, because it puts me in a place that I want to fight, and I don't like to be in that place no more. So yeah, those are two. But again, I could go on and on and on. But Tina, what do you have?
So one that I have is what I experienced and where I didn't immediately respond. So someone texted me or they called me and I just was not ready to talk. And it turned sensitive. They felt like I was mad at them or ignoring them. This ain't even about you.
Not about you.
And they made it about them. So to me, give people that time.
Yes.
I don't care if it's 6 months, a year. If you're really truly a friend, I have friends I do not talk to every day,
Right.
every month. But whenever we talk, that 6 months, once a year, we pick right back up where we started
Absolutely.
from. So my thing is give people that time. And then going back to you when you said, call me when you need me. I don't necessarily say call me, but I do say if you need anything, let me know. But what I learned in that too is just get up. Bring a case of water.
Right.
Let's do it.
Something.
Everybody drink water.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is the time to do a self-check, self-reflect on how you can be better during somebody's grief process, how you can be more respectful during somebody's grief process. So that's really was the only thing for me. Like I love the love. I didn't mind people calling, and that what you don't know is sometimes your text messages or your voicemail messages was alone comforting for me. It carried me through the nights of me crying. It carried me through the nights of me falling out of my closet in the dark. So don't get in the way of yourself and prevent you from helping somebody else heal and love on them. So that's all I would say is just have patience with people.
Yes. Grace. Yeah.
Definitely. So I think our takeaways from this tea time is to read the room. The grief is not about you.
Not.
And check your energy. And the last thing I will add is this. What you experience may not be my experience. So don't expect me to bounce back in 2 days. Don't expect me to go to work tomorrow.
Yes.
Don't expect me to answer the phone every time you call or reply to every text. Because the next morning, I think I had about 300 text messages and phone calls, and I didn't get to listen to that till weeks later.
Right, and real quick, so my mother, when my father passed, I mean, they had been married a long time. There's no doubt we know that he didn't love her, right? But my mother ended up remarrying, and some people didn't like that.
Of course.
We had talks of it's too soon. Who were you to tell somebody it was too soon
for them?
You know, like as if she didn't love my father.
Right.
But my mother is healed. She's happily married. She traveled more than me. She have a yacht.
Go, mama.
RV.
Good for her.
And she's gone.
Living her life.
Her own business. So that's what I'm saying. My dad was instilled purpose in me too, but my mother, I can't not talk about my mother. My mother was great. She did a lot, and she is an entrepreneur till this day. They have their own bus transportation company.
That's awesome.
So at 75,
She still got it.
she's still going. But
That's right.
also so what I'm wrapping up, I'm just saying with that is you cannot put time limits on healing process.
That's right.
or when they should move on
moving on.
and
That's
meet
right.
somebody else,
That's
right? But one thing I do know, if you're walking in love, then you'll never be out of alignment, because whatever you do is purely from your heart.
That's right.
So that's what I always tie back to. Some people make stuff so complicated. Just go back to love, and you'll figure it out and know how to treat people and know how to talk to people. You'll be able to fill the room just off the love.
That is true.
If your intentions ain't good, stay away.
Back up.
Don't come over my house trying to wait for me to break down.
Right.
Just stay away.
Looking at you.
Just stay away.
Yeah, like you did mention that, like maybe somebody
The
maybe
false support
Yeah.
of coming and acting like you there for me, but you're really waiting for me to break down. You're reporting back
Yes.
if I broke
Or
down.
how did you break down?
And-
Like,
and
was it harsh? Did you
Girl.
cry real hard? Did you really love him?
This will be our final etiquette. But how was the funeral?
Girl, this
Right.
how do you think it
That
was?
one right there.
That's been asked.
Or how did they look? Did they look like themselves? That's another reason that made me rethink cremation. Cause what y'all not gonna do
Is sit up and look.
is stand over me talking about how did she look.
I'm not mentioning no names, but it was a family that, I mean, it was a whole issue about, did that person really look the same?
See?
Did they? You missing the whole
the
point,
whole-
baby.
What it's about at this point.
They're transitioned.
Period.
That's it.
Now, how we finna stick together
That's right.
Period.
and come together as one? That's it.
That part.
But yeah,
So I think we've given you all some wonderful what not to do's in the very near future. So
Take it.
listen, if you are in a position to help someone, support someone that's grieving, please take our advice
Yes.
and this etiquette and move and govern
Yes.
yourselves accordingly.
So now this is the time where we like to take a moment and again thank everybody for coming, thanking for them for their feedback. One of our goals is to drive you to our YouTube channel, making sure you're commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, and hitting that notification bell. But we just want to love on you the way you guys have been supporting us. So we have 3 people we want to shout out today in our episode, and we really thank you for watching. The first one is Christina Nicole 36. That is her YouTube name. We thank you, Christina, for just supporting us and giving us good
we
feedback.
appreciate you.
We appreciate that.
The second one is Mrs. AB/STL. So I believe she's from St. Louis,
Thank
Missouri.
you.
Thank
you
you.
so much for the love and comments and taking the time to stop in. And lastly, we have Janae Jenkins. We want to thank you for your beautiful
Janae.
comments and
Thank
feedback
you.
and support and love as well. Keep those comments coming.
Yes, we
read
appreciate
them.
it.
We hear you.
Yes.
We pray for you. We laugh with you. All that good stuff. And so moving right along, we're going to be talking about what's coming on the next episode, and that is, are you shrinking to fit in?
Another great topic.
Are you shrinking to fit in? Now, I got something to say, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold it for the next episode.
So make sure you tune in.
Yep.
Are you shrinking to fit in? Join us back here.
Yes.